Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Before we get started, we ask you to do a couple things. As always, first, go to our Facebook page, like and share the Facebook page. Second, go to Twitter, follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is...
Here comes Natural Pod.
One more time, our Twitter handle is...
Comes Natural Pod.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to be one of those shows.
And thirdly, please go to iTunes, rate the podcast, review the podcast, and subscribe to the podcast so it downloads automatically for you every Friday morning when it becomes available. Cody, let's start the podcast proper.
Comes naturally, we are.
Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody. Welcome to this week's episode, everybody.
Everybody.
Let's see.
Yeah?
Mike has
Yeah.
a wrestling minute this week.
Kinda, not really.
Let's do it.
All right. I don't know how to speak Japanese. That's my big takeaway from wrestling this week.
I was thinking about the other thing we were talking about.
Well, nope, because I want to talk about this because I can't figure out New Japan's website to order a pay-per-view online. And I really wanted to watch Wrestle Kingdom 11 last night, which, if you don't know what Wrestle Kingdom 11 is, which I don't expect anybody that listens to this to know.
Not until after this episode.
But basically what it is it's some people can say it's bigger than WrestleMania. It just doesn't affect the United States as much as WrestleMania does.
Like soccer.
Yeah. So to a lot of the rest of the world that are wrestling fans, Wrestle Kingdom is kind of like WrestleMania. And some in America will say it's their WrestleMania. Some in Japan will say WrestleMania is our Wrestle Kingdom. You know, like it's kind of that big of an event. It's basically the biggest non-WWE event of the year for wrestling.
And that happened last night.
That happened last night in the Tokyo Dome in front of 80-something thousand people.
Wow.
Somewhere around there.
That's
Big
impressive.
numbers. Yeah. And in the last few years, New Japan has been kind of trying to snag those American viewers a little bit more because a couple years ago they got Jim Ross, who's an Hall of Fame broadcaster for WWE, to actually do the English play-by-play. And made it available in America for the first time legally anyway a couple years ago, and so now they always have a English commentary to offer with it. But you have to go online and buy the pay-per-view online, and they have an English website now, which helps a lot because like 2 years ago they didn't have an English website, so you're just kind of like, oh, you know,
Like, I don't know what this means.
but it's still not very good, and I got super confused, and I didn't want to accidentally book a trip to Japan, so I was just like,
Pretty sure you'd be able to tell the difference in price.
I don't
so-
know. It's like 200,000 yen. That's like pesos, right?
yeah. What's that equal on my Visa
No?
card? I don't know
No?
how that goes.
Hey, Jen. I think I messed up.
I fucked up real bad.
We're going to Japan.
But I'm gonna. They said the main event is a guy named Okada, who is was the heavyweight champion in New Japan. Been the heavyweight champion on and off for a long time. American fans can compare him to like Randy Orton. Like he's their Randy Orton.
Oh, totally. I can see that.
Always up there at the top. But the guy he was going against is an American named Kenny Omega, who has been just killing it on the independent scenes for a long time, and over this past year is really, without the machine of WWE, has made himself a mainstream name in the world of wrestling, which is pretty impressive because he's never really been on TV in America. Like very rarely has been on TV in America. And the fact that he's been so good, like he's widely considered the best wrestler. Not only people will say he's the best wrestler not in the WWE, but a lot of people think he's the best wrestler in the world, period, right now.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
And so it was Kenny Omega versus Okada in the main event, and so much so to the point where Sports Illustrated, who's been doing more wrestling stuff for the past couple years, they actually reviewed it saying it might be one of the best matches of all time. Like one of the, not like greatest matches this year or last year, like one of the best matches ever. So I am gonna try to figure out that website one more time and catch a replay of that, and then hopefully next week I'll give you my review of Wrestle Kingdom 11.
I think we should help you out because that sounds interesting.
All right,
We
that's
should
that.
also plan a trip to Japan.
I might have bought one. I don't know yet. I haven't checked my
How
my
much are
credit
tickets
card.
to Japan?
I mean, it depends when you buy them. They can be fairly cheap.
Like, I just want
A couple hundred
sub.
bucks.
Oh, a couple $100? Hell yeah, totally do that.
You get them the right time of year, you can get them.
I'll buy all your guys' tickets for a couple $100, and then you just flip the
You heard that right?
Yep.
the hotel bill.
Joe's gonna buy us tickets to Japan.
As long as it's only a couple $100 each. Talking like maybe $300
I need
each
a
max.
passport,
I got one.
and not talking about an external hard drive.
Ew.
I don't think your passport's gonna work for me.
No, it won't because it's got my
Sir,
pictures.
did you lose a foot? Not technically. I have 2. They're like, no. And height?
Because I gained a few pounds.
And then shrink.
That's how it works, right? Right?
No.
I don't know.
I mean,
'Cause it's never
technically, if
happened to me.
you go down a foot in height, you will lose weight, yes. Or
no,
you're
no,
dead
I mean
because you
like
got scrunched.
like you get squished and it goes out. No?
No.
Okay. Speaking of biology, scientists discovered
don't know
a
much
new
about-
organ in the human body.
Mike was gonna sing a song I don't want to pay for.
No.
Hey Joe, do you have anything for
Coming-
science moment?
I do actually. Coming from Time magazine, scientists have just recently discovered.
THYME?
Yeah, Time.
THYME?
No.
It's a cooking magazine.
No. Yeah. Sorry. No. That'd be awkward.
Cooking time. That's what it's
Cooking time.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And human body parts.
Time
something
magazine,
that
yep.
Buffalo Bill when made.
He never ate people. He wore their skin.
Yeah, but
Jeffrey Dahmer ate people.
okay. So scientists recently discovered what they are calling a new human organ that exists in the digestive system, named the, and I'm gonna butcher the hell out of these fucking names.
Of course you are. It's medical.
Mesentery. The organ was previously thought to consist of fragmented and disparate structures. Researchers found, however, that it is one continuous organ and outlined evidence to classify it as such in a review published in the Lancet Gastroenterology and Hepatology.
It's a lot of big ass words no one cares to talk about.
Right?
Wait. That's some boring ass shit.
That's some boring ass
Get it?
shit.
Ass and shit because it's about digestion. But
There's actually a video of this on Time Magazine's website.
Let's not watch that.
No, it's awesome. You never watched the surgery channel?
Yeah,
I don't
watched
even
it
know
all the
what
time.
what it was called back then. What?
Back then, like I'm older than you.
Well, technically you actually are.
That much older than you.
Technically.
I used to watch it when they had autopsies on there because that shit's impressive.
But what was that channel?
Gross.
It was on the Science Channel.
Science Channel? Because I always used just to call it the surgery channel because that's
It
all
was
was on
certain
there.
hours
It's
of the
always
day,
surgery.
stuff, yeah.
So the mesentery is a double fold of the peritonum. Excuse me. Which is the lining of the abdominal cavity. It connects the intestines to the abdomen. So beyond that and discovery of this new organ, they still don't know what it actually does. And their hopes are that once they finally understand it, they can maybe diagnose more abdominal diseases and problems.
What's the thing we can get rid of that doesn't matter to us?
The pancreas?
That's the one. No, the pancreas or the gallbladder.
Well, you
One
can
of them
have.
does something.
Well, they both technically do something, but I
One's
think
vital to living, though, right?
I believe that's the gallbladder.
You sure it's not the pancreas? Doesn't
Yeah,
it do
the-
like insulin or something like that?
But you don't have to have it.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
get rid of mine. Lose some weight that way.
I don't think it really works like that.
Maybe
Because-
that's big.
I'm trying to remember. My mom had to have her pancreas removed.
Oh, I mean, it definitely doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can just have it removed and be okay.
Well, because it's
Right,
one of
lose
the
some
it's one of those vestigial organs that scientists, if I recall right, believe that it helped in the breaking down of plants and cellulose.
Oh, but Americans are like, fuck plants. And
Exactly.
So we don't need it anymore.
Hey, is there meat in that plant? No.
Is that plant good deep fried?
Ugh, deep fried plants. Well, that goes back to our deep fried salads that we had discussion we had earlier. Ba-ba-bum. Next, coming from quartz.com. That's QUARTZ.com. A theory that challenges Newton's and Einstein's gravity and nixes dark matter past its first test.
Ooh.
So if you don't know what dark matter is, and I'm going to try and explain it the best I can, is scientists are trying to understand how galaxies move and how they stay together. And using Einstein's and Newton's theories to try and explain it, they end up with results that are way off. So the only way to explain these movements is to add a mass to the system that does not reflect light and cannot be seen. It's essentially what dark matter is. It's essentially just adding mass to a system so that they can explain how something moves.
Okay.
Yeah. So to sum up this article, it's Margot Brower of Leiden University who has come up with a new way, and they don't really go much into it in this article. I'm sure that there's a white paper that you could find somewhere. I haven't found it yet, though, on exactly how her new math works and doesn't require dark matter to explain how galaxies move.
So it's artificial dark matter, in a way.
What do you mean?
It can be used as artificial dark matter for testing? Or just by, like, you don't need it now.
You don't need it now.
They can calculate that stuff without using it.
It's more accurate than what they had because they don't have to include dark matter
Gotcha.
inside of it.
Gotcha. Better calculations.
Better calculations, exactly. Yeah. So it's a cool article to read. I just need to get a hold of the actual, if she has a like a white paper in it somewhere, but I don't see it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool for something like that to go down the rabbit hole, as I call, as you just sit there and click links and try to understand things, dark matter, dark energy, stuff like that. That's pretty much the science for this week.
I like how Joe falls down a rabbit hole of like important new scientific discoveries, and I fall down a rabbit hole of finding out where you can buy a wrestling ring and wrestling boots at in America.
It all comes down to our different interests.
Yeah.
Basically, he's interested in science. You're interested in dudes in tight clothing that beat each other up.
Yeah. Weird, right?
Ipso facto,
Not
it's the
really.
same thing. Hobby on your end, hobby on his end.
Yeah.
Yours is a little gayer, but like in a fun way.
It's a little bit.
Like, I mean, you're into it, whatever. He's into other stuff that
Yeah,
doesn't.
totally.
I mean, you know,
Fair
science.
Fair enough. Science.
Science.
Bitch.
All right. So
Welcome to 2017.
far we're still here.
Yep.
So
We don't know if this episode will post,
We'll find out Friday.
but we're getting a lot closer to a certain somebody taking over the world. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how long this thing's gonna go on.
right.
So enjoy it while you can, folks.
It's free for now. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hopefully we'll be grandfathered in. We've been doing it long enough.
Yeah, we're in our third year.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, right? Yikes. Yeah. So not a whole lot has happened because it's been the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
New Year's was
We-
uneventful.
No, it was eventful. We played the division. Well, at least two of us. The
Yeah.
third one actually,
Went to a party.
socialized with people.
Yeah, I've been flexing that muscle lately. Socializing.
Yeah, you have.
You loser.
Yeah, you fucking nerd.
You fucking nerd. So we all saw Passengers.
Yes.
I don't really know why everyone's hating on it. Because it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna not be good. I was mistaken. It was good.
You were correct in saying though that it wouldn't be a success
Yeah.
because it definitely was. It didn't do very good money. but that's because it got shit on by reviewers, and anything new science fiction-y, once it gets bad reviews, gets shit on by everybody, because that's how it works.
Basically, unless it's got Disney behind it, you
Unless
have to be super fucking different and unique, and then also kind of familiar enough for
If
people.
it's not
to
a
like
Trek
it.
or a
You know what
war,
I mean, like,
it's a tough sell for most people,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
or Marvel.
Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
talking, like,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Guardians is out there, but it's, that's Marvel. It doesn't count.
If you haven't seen it and you're listening to this, I
You
strongly
fucking
suggest
should.
go and see it. I would say that I haven't seen all of either Chris Pratt's or Jennifer Lawrence's movies, but from this, it's probably the best acting I've ever seen out of either of them.
More so for Chris Pratt, if you ask me.
Yeah, because I keep thinking back to the part where
she's
like,
done some serious real stuff
Yeah.
before.
Right,
This is
but
like his first time.
I haven't watched Joy, or what was the other one that she did? The
Silver Linings
Silver
Playbook?
Lining.
Yeah.
No, I've seen Silver Linings Playbook. Sorry, yeah, which was actually pretty decent. No, I'm thinking of the other one with
Yep.
Christian Bale and
American Hustle.
Oh, American Hustle.
Yeah,
That one's less.
She's so much fun in that movie.
She is really
yeah.
fun. That's less. She has to stretch a different acting muscle in that one than she would like in Silver Lining Playbook or Passengers for
All
sure.
right, so here on Rotten Tomatoes, which you know how we feel
It's
about
an
critics.
aggregate of different places, different reviews. Yes.
The critics are at a 31% on it, which I'm like, all right, critics, I'm always expecting to be low.
yeah.
Audience score is only at a 69% on this one. I really thought that would be higher.
Well, it's
after
because it's
seeing that.
sci-fi. Like if you go to like sci-fi is only going to get good marks if it's one of two things: something drastically different, or if it's like a Star Wars or a Star Trek.
It already has like that built-in fan
Yeah.
base.
And then when I say that, Guardians is different
Yeah,
than anything you've seen before, but it's very much like a Star Wars or a Star Trek.
yeah,
But it is different, so that's why it did so well. I mean, other reasons. I mean, it's a fantastic movie. It's funny. It's got the feels in it. It's action packed and all that fun stuff. This is like this is like old school sci-fi that used to see or used to like read about in books, like old sci-fi books.
yeah. It's sci-fi, but it's not shooting lasers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's not exactly science fiction. It just is a story that so happens to take place on a spaceship as they're traveling to another planet.
Yeah, because I mean, it could be a boat trip.
It really could be. I mean, yeah,
Granted, feet
it'd be a different
story,
but it
But-
really could be played out the same. Yes,
a long ass fucking boat trip.
Nah.
right. But like I was saying, there's the specific scene where Chris Pratt's character is trying to convince himself not to. Spoiler alert!
spoil this.
Wake up
Sure.
Jennifer Lawrence's character, and you can just see the pain and the anguish because he's been there alone for a whole entire year, and you can see the pain and anguish on his face, and it's just absolutely fantastic acting.
He grows a gnarly beard.
Grows a gnarly beard, yeah, and even when then she finds out later that he's the reason why she was taken out of her pod, and he was absolutely heartbroken over it. And like I said, just fantastic acting by him.
The other thing too is it's got a lot of psychology stuff in it,
Mm-hmm.
which the majority of people who go to see sci-fi don't want to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to see people shoot lasers at each other and weird creatures and stuff. Joseph,
Wasn't
that
me.
was you, buddy.
I'm alert free, motherfuckers.
Darn you, CNN.
You know, also too, it's really more so than anything. It's a romance movie, really. It's a love story.
I wouldn't say bromance.
Well, I would say
It's a
little bit
romance.
of
Oh,
a,
there's
I
a
said
bromance. I'm like, he
It's a
doesn't-
romance story.
doesn't
It's
really
more
get
it's
that
more of a
down.
love story
yeah, for sure.
than anything.
It's a boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some other stuff in there if you want
Yeah.
to spoil it. Boy wakes up.
Let's not get too in details because we want people to see this one.
I will say that
Usually we talk about movies that everybody's already has seen or is about to see. So
if you've just watched the trailer, And I don't know what the newer trailers will reveal, because they always seem to change up the story of the trailer once the movie's released. But the original trailers made it seem like something else was completely different happening.
It made it
than
seem
what
like
actually
it was
happened
gonna
in the
turn
movie.
into a scary movie.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
what, like, I got the vibe of, like, oh, this is gonna be like the first half's gonna be this and the second half's gonna be a scary movie. And it's not really that. There's suspense and stuff in it, but it's definitely not a horror movie by any stretch of the
No.
imagination.
And one
There's
of
no aliens. If you're worried about aliens showing up and fucking everything up,
Not the movie for you.
it's not. Well, if you were worried about that and you're like, oh, I fucking want to see
that.
aliens,
Yeah.
I get that.
It's not.
I didn't want to see that either.
I did.
But that doesn't happen.
Joe likes to
so
see aliens fuck shit up.
I do.
fuck shit
Especially
up.
in a scary way.
In a scary way.
But yeah, go fucking watch Passengers. It's worth your $10 or whatever the fuck your movie theater costs, and you'll have fun. It's a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you not
3D was
like
gorgeous,
Chris
too.
Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence? Like,
Right?
like those two are super likable.
Mm-hmm.
So Lawrence Fishburne does a really good job in it too.
Which was a shocker. I didn't know he was in it. I didn't read anything
I knew
about
he
the
was in
casting
it.
or anything.
Yeah,
You
'cause
just
he was
saw
in-
him
he was in the
briefly
trailers,
in
yeah.
the trailer. But he's got a very important role in it, and he does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It fucks with you. It gets you to thinking too. Like it leaves you with enough time in the movie to kind of make you think about what you would have done in certain situations, and that's fun. I mean, not fun to think about.
Probably
but,
some of the things that he did.
Uh,
Like, honestly, I could say at first you're sitting there trying to get into the cabin of the crew cabin and whatnot. Obviously, that's just a fucking vault to get into.
I heard somebody say that the science didn't make any sense in this movie.
It's a fucking science fiction
I'm like,
movie. Who the
it's
fuck cares?
based way in the future.
It's also the same people are probably like talking about like, hey, lightsabers aren't real.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right?
Yeah.
Neither is a Cloud City, you tard.
Yeah.
Those are the worst people.
Yeah, don't be that person.
But then, like, the scene where he's walking naked throughout the ship, it's just like, I don't fucking care. Big old giant bushy beard and just walking butt naked through the ship. Mm.
Some really close calls of seeing full on nudity on both halves.
Right? They
I
got a little
almost
bit
saw
more-
Jennifer Lawrence movies.
Yeah.
Saw a silhouette of him for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Saw so much OB, it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yeah, way to wake up a good one.
Yeah.
Not just a. The best part was he didn't just choose because she was pretty. Like that was my favorite part, though. He didn't go, "Oh, she's pretty.
And wake her up.
I'd like to throw things into her
Yeah.
all over this ship, all over 1,000 meters of it, whatever it was."
He did the creeper route and
Yeah,
actually sat there.
he cyber stalked the fuck out of her
Yeah. And sat next to her while he was doing that.
and ate breakfast. That was the weird thing. Like he sets his coffee mug on like the little readout. I was like,
Weird thing, but hilarious thing,
Yeah,
because
super
he was poor, so the machines didn't let him order anything above his pay grade.
Yep.
So every morning he literally just got like fucking Kellogg's Frosted Flakes
or
something
the
like that. Or
what was the cube thing he said it was?
I
Like
can't
a
remember.
fiber cube or
yeah,
something.
it was some super generic like, hey, at least it keeps you alive food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And black coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really funny.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
I think favorite part. I think my favorite part was watching him for the first year.
Mhm.
Like be super like gotta figure something out. And then he kind of breaks into that man alone in a mall type thing where he starts breaking in and doing the like going to the fancy restaurants all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see him like growing the beard and doing fucked up shit. And then that stuff. I think that was my favorite part because it's like the I don't want to say degradation of the man. I mean, eventually it was, but like that he's trying to make the best of his situation and then realize like getting to a point where he can't because he's like, fuck,
That would
this
be
is the worst.
That'd be my favorite point, and especially because he has that android bartender that he goes to every single day, and he's talking to, and eventually he just gets to the point. We don't know how long he's been alone at this point, where he asks the android, "Well, what would you do?" And the guy's like, "Well, I would do whatever I want." And it's suddenly you can just see that little click, over in his brain, and he's
it
like,
was the Groundhog's Day click.
"Yeah," and
Where he realized he has full reign of everything.
Yeah, so for how many ever months he'd been staying in his assigned cabin, which is just a little tiny shed of a cabin, and he realizes, oh shit, I can just break into one of the gold level cabins and live in there.
Fuck it.
Yeah. And then he's sitting there going to sushi restaurants inside there and whatnot. I was
French
like,
restaurant.
the French restaurant. It was fucking hilarious. That's what that was my favorite part. Mike?
My favorite part was actually when, I mean, not my favorite part. I wasn't like, yeah, but it was, I think the most interesting part was when Jennifer Lawrence found out and like just their interactions from there until they had to come back together for undiscussed reasons.
Yeah.
That was because it was heart-wrenching, dude,
Oh,
and because
seriously.
you understand and completely get why she's so pissed off.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh, I would be too. That's a dick thing.
And that's the psychology thing, is like you can see that she actually still cares for him, but is so fucking mad at him because of that, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's like you can see the little bit of like the love starts to peek out, and then she remembers and she just gets fucking pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the best part to show that is when she's jogging and he's creepily watching her on the monitors, and then gets into the intercom system to talk to her because she won't stop to talk to him.
Yeah.
And like you're like, dude, and she just fucking just lets him have it. I was like, awkward.
Yeah.
It's like fast forward,
Especially when there's only especially when there's only two of you on the ship.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and the bartender.
Well, I meant humans.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was thinking about my thoughts about what it was gonna be. Like, I thought it was gonna be more like The Shining,
Slowly goes insane.
where he goes insane. Like, I thought they both knew each other in a way first. Like, I didn't know she was a complete fucking stranger. Because I mean, she is to him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was gonna be like more of those things where he met her. They just happened to wake up, you know.
Yeah, because in the trailers you don't get they don't let you know he woke her up.
Yeah. Well, also
there's a little hint of it in one trailer where he's like, "You didn't wake up by accident," which
Yeah.
wasn't in the movie, but it was in the trailer where you're like, "Oh shit, did he?" But you didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think they should have put that in the trailers because it kind of lets you know more of what the movie is, because it doesn't really ruin anything. That's why we don't have a problem talking about that part, because it's such a small, like, you know right away, like it's not a point of. It's not a big twist in the movie or anything.
Yeah, not at all.
It's just something that happens to further along the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, they don't really let you know in the trailers that he's the one that woke her up.
Yeah, because I thought they knew each other in a way, like acquaintances in a way, because the trailer shows them dating. You know, like that thing, he asked her out with the robot, blah blah blah, right? So I thought they knew each other. It just happens to be they were awake because they were, you know, their pods or whatever were next to each other, and they went bad or whatever happened to be. And then I thought it was like him going crazy, and then I saw a trailer later. I thought maybe it was the other way around. She went crazy.
Yeah.
Because you see her hammering on the door in the trailer, and I was like, oh shit, this bitch goes nuts and like fucking Shining murders this dude like in space, and just like puts his face on her hand and talks to herself, like that sort of kind of crazy, which would have been interesting because Jennifer Lawrence is a murderous psychopath in space, pretty much is nothing I've ever seen. So, but so I kind of that's what I thought it was going to be, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was not that. It was not what I thought it was going to be, but it was excellent. Fantastic acting and an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
And Mike cried like a bitch.
Yes, he did. We didn't.
Yeah.
We're men.
Because we're men.
I'm not gonna say I didn't cry.
Which means you did cry.
There's some sad parts in it.
There are definitely some sad parts in it. Some very, geez.
Yeah. Rough,
The
uncomfortable moments.
The spacesuit. Well, I'm just thinking like the spacesuit scene towards the end where you're like, oh, well, he's gone.
They're like, oh, that dude's dead as fuck.
Yeah. But you mentioned the Jennifer Lawrence scene where she's banging on the door, and that reminds me that that I would say
Here's Jenny.
No, that mini scene or mini montage of her going through the same things as he did, where it's like,
and he's like,
I'm going to suddenly fix this and this and that, and you know, by the year later that he's been in it, he's come to terms with it, and he's just kind of living it. Where when she comes out, she's like, well, we got to fix this. We got to tell somebody. We got to do this. Got to do that. And then it all comes to a point where she literally is just at the crew quarters banging on the door with that fucking sledgehammer, going through the same emotions that he was, less, with the exception of not walking around the place naked,
which is a shame,
or growing a beard,
which is not a shame.
Yeah.
Speaking of that part, I do like the part where he tried all the different ways of getting in there, and like later, you don't see all the devastation he did, but when later he brings her back and explains everything, you see this. He pulled the fucking walls apart around it, and like he's burned. Like it was so funny
because cut into it
like,
other ways.
Then she goes, "How long have you been at this?" He's like, "A while."
Yeah.
I was like, because you got to realize. Oh, I don't want to say that.
Yeah, don't get in. Yeah,
I was gonna ruin something. Never mind.
Yeah. Don't
so we'll move on from it. But
I guess
like, it's still gonna be in theaters for a minute. Go help it out. It definitely deserves business. Or if you don't catch it in theaters, it's worth an iTunes buy for sure.
Yeah, January's pretty light on new movies.
Yeah, ain't shit coming out this weekend but fucking Underworld. So go out and watch Passengers. Make Passengers #1 movie of the week. Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's not gonna take out Rogue One. No. Make it #2.
Make it 2.
Me too.
Rogue One is still fucking hot. I mean, that shit was selling out when we went on Sunday.
God damn, it was.
Dude, Cine 1 when it emptied. Remember?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. I was like,
it. Trust me.
oh my God, get out the way. These
People
hordes
that
of people.
I wanted to avoid were there.
For sure. For
I
sure.
should have went with you guys the opening night because apparently nobody goes to 3D movies.
No one. There was
one other group, I think, wasn't there?
Well, there was a couple other groups. There was 2 people behind us. There was 3 people up front. There was like 7 dudes in the row, not directly in front of us, but the one in front of that. Then there was the 3 of us, right? 3 of us, right? Yeah, because Brian didn't show up. Yeah. So I mean, maybe there were 15 people in that theater.
Yeah.
Opening night, I wanted to go earlier, but we couldn't because of work for some people.
Yeah.
So we didn't go to the 7:00 one. We went to the 9:15. Was it, Mike?
No, it was. No. Was it 9:15?
9 something, right?
It had to been
because it was literally starting a couple minutes, like
it would have been like you could if you were to get off at 9, you could make it there in the theater in time. I think
it might have been 9:15 then. Yeah.
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 It was like 20 minutes after he got off.
Yeah.
If it was
easily
9:20 or 10:20, one of the two.
Yeah. We went later than I normally like to, and I thought it was gonna be busier, which is really funny because we saw it in 3D. The 2D side on the other end of the theater was much bigger and much busier.
And the midnights are always busier,
which
too.
makes no sense to me.
People, please understand this. They're not just doing midnight showings anymore. They start showings at 7 now. You can go to it at 7. You can go to it at 7:30. You can go to it at 8.
Especially
8,
Rogue
15.
One. Rogue One had had screening time starting at 6:30.
Wow.
Dude, it was ridiculous. 6:30, 6:45, 7, 7:15. Like there was literally like of that movie theater, that 18, there was at least 6 or 7 screens that were playing it that night.
Wow.
It was ridiculous. I was like, you're gonna be able to oh, it's selling out. Yeah, the only ones that sell out are gonna be those pick your own seat ones because people buy the tickets ahead of time. The rest of the time, it's a crapshoot. But we're lucky because we live in a town that has so many fucking movie theaters
Yeah.
that you literally could go. You might have to drive a little farther than you wanted to or a different theater, but you're gonna be able to see it no matter what. But those ones like Estrella Falls, Harkins, that's one of those everyone goes there because it's really nice and it's new, but you also get to pick your seats, so the shit sells out a little faster. You know what I mean? But the other ones, there was fucking nobody at that fucking that screen. It was ridiculous. And even after we got done, there was no line for ours.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there you go, because I think ours was one of the off ones, so it would have been an 11 something versus a midnight. But there was people waiting in line for a midnight one when we left. I was like, why are you in line?
Stupid.
I don't fucking get it. We're the second time we're the second screening in that particular theater to see it that night, and you people are in line still.
Wow.
We did see one guy dressed like a Jedi come out of the theater. Was that theater 1 on that side, right?
Yeah.
Only person dressed up. Besides the little kid is a stormtrooper. I was
It's
like,
a little low.
I was like,
numbers. I would have figured that a lot more people would have been dressed up.
the later ones I'm guessing, but yeah, this one I was like, well, you must feel like an asshole. He's walking around like he's fine. He had his like Jedi braid in his hair. I was like, what a fucking nerd.
Of course.
One of those Jedi robes. I'm like, Jedi my ass.
People were probably stopping him to take pictures with him.
Nope.
No?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Nobody wanted anything to do with that. Yeah.
Plus, the
enough.
best part is he walked from the far side over to ours to go to the bathroom because it got busy.
Mm-hmm.
Never saw him with anybody else. Like, no one followed him over there. Like, he obviously didn't have any friends with him that wanted to go that far over. I was like, well, I think this guy watched this by himself.
Mm.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Yeah, go see Passengers
Mm-hmm.
because it was dope.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find a movie to tell people, like, oh, it's like this, but it's hard to because it's not like I can't really find a movie to tell people to see it because it's not like a traditional sci-fi movie. Anyways, go watch it. That's all I'm saying. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all you're saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Because the only movie that I can think of right this moment that would come close to just describing a little bit of this movie would be Castaway. And that's just because it's him alone for a year. But Chris Pratt's character doesn't go that darkly.
He has the nice thing. He has an electronic bartender to talk
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
He's not literally alone on
he's
an
got
island.
And he's got
accoutrements
good
to,
food.
you know, and showers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, he lets himself go Castaway though.
No, but like
He goes full Castaway.
he just
for sure.
stops shaving and and stuff. He
Pretty sure
still
he
has the
stopped bathing in there. At
he
one
has
point
the
too.
ability to at least
Yeah.
keep up hygiene, brush his teeth and whatnot. That's what
He
I mean.
definitely has that.
He doesn't have to use a freaking ice skate to remove a molar from his right. That scene. You're welcome.
Cool. I just vomited a lot.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
What's that thing from that stuff? Let's see what else. I was gonna say this year I think has a lot of sci-fi movies in it, barring, I mean, besides Guardians 2 and Star Wars, you have Life. I can think of right now. You have Life. You're playing the He-Man game.
No,
What is it?
it's this really stupid game
Your
called.
iPad's way too big, by the way.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Your iPad's too big. It
That looks
doesn't
just
have
like the He-Man game.
It's called Tap Attack.
Oh yeah, it's just like the He-Man game.
Remember when tablets were like, it's so you can be on the go with them, and then they just keep getting bigger?
I am on the go.
Yeah.
See,
Dude, your shit's almost the size of a TV. Like, pretty soon.
it's amazing because I do use it as a TV. I throw in my AirPods, and I switch up to the TV app, to the Watch TV app, and
You're a
I've been
Watch
watching
TV app.
No,
Archer.
it's not. Archer.
Yeah,
He's the man.
Speaking of which,
Mars.
season 8 of that is moving to FXX for that season and beyond.
I've also been watching the show Mars. Actually, I shouldn't say watching it because I've only watched most of the first episode. They're almost like an hour and something long. I wasn't prepared for that. Weird. Well, no, because I was
Mr. Afraid of Commitment over here.
seriously though.
This show's an hour? Oh, don't know if I could do
Well, no,
that.
when I started watching it, I was like, I'm
42
gonna go
minutes.
to bed. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed in a little bit. I'm just gonna watch this show, and I figured it'd be like a half an hour or so. No, it's like a full on hour show. But it's super weird to watch just because it is like faux documentary style shot.
That's the one with who's in that one? There's someone in that one, right? There's an actor I know.
There's a few actors that you.
No, there's like
probably
an
know.
actor I like. Not that I know, but like I like. Who's in that one? Is that the one that's on?
It's the one on National Geographic.
I don't
Yeah.
know who's in that, but I do know who they're talking about possibly being in the young Han Solo movie.
The guy that played Chewbacca in The Force Awakens.
Is it Han Solo himself?
Might be old Han Solo, according to some information that I think Cody just made up on the spot.
Okay, I don't know why that's a thing.
I don't know either.
Well, where'd you get that info from, sir?
I read it online.
Where?
People who've seen the script.
Like slash film or
I think it was Deadspin.
You got a source? You're trying not to reveal your source?
No, I read online. I read everything, basically links from Reddit to something. So,
So explain that a little bit. So young Han Solo movie's coming out in a couple
Yep.
years, and now there's a
Couple years,
rumor that old
next
Han
year.
Solo is gonna be in it.
Yes. From someone who's read the script that has been approved by Disney. That has a. Also, the reason Mike brought this up was Woody Harrelson
Yeah,
is being
motherfuckers.
eyed to play the mentor of young Han Solo.
I can see it.
So
Now we gotta get a cool mentor for Lando.
Could be both. Could be the same guy.
Could be the same guy, but what if we got Billy D to play the old mentor? He doesn't have to play Lando.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
It's
weird.
a little awkward.
It's kind of weird, but everyone
That's
would
like-
accept it.
That's like
Everyone would accept it and be like, "This is awesome."
It's also a little racist
Why is it racist?
because all the black people would have to know each other in Star Wars.
yeah, Mike.
No, he gets a mentor.
Yeah, and his mentor has to be black.
His
Yeah.
great grandpa.
And it
Oh,
has,
now they're related.
now they're related, so
Yeah,
it's
this one
racist
is.
again because
He's got other black people in the movie.
Racist.
He's not related to Finn. It's fine.
That you know of.
right.
That'd be racist if Lando ended up being Finn's like granddad or something. Great granddad.
Great granddad. It would
Yeah.
be
Like-
father.
Father, yeah. Not a whole lot of time has taken.
If
No,
if
it's been a long
Han
time. Been a long time.
can be
Don't worry. Remember,
Ben's
there's
dad.
3 other movies in between there too.
right?
in between when?
Exactly.
Huh?
Huh?
I think he means. I'm
But-
gonna go out on a limb here. I think he means the original 3 because technically this movie would take place before, right around the time that Rogue One takes place.
No, it'd be before that.
Before that,
Much before that.
so
Because remember, when Rogue One takes place, he's already a scoundrel because he's in debt to Jabba.
so then we have the original 3 movies that takes place in
I
between.
guess.
It's so factor. The point being, that's a pretty dope pick. I'd be pretty excited to see Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
in a young Han Solo movie, which is also interesting and leads to who they were in talks with, but I guess it didn't go through for whatever reason. Is they wanted Christian Bale to play that part.
Because he's a fucking lunatic.
Well, he's a good actor though,
It's true. I'm not saying he's
and
not.
he's only a lunatic if somebody like gets in his
Messes
life.
his blocking.
Yeah. Oh, good for you.
Imagine if they made him like a Sith. That would
Christian
be-
Bale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
What if they loaded this one up with like name actors? How weird would that be for a Star Wars flick?
Not very weird. I would think
I think
that
it'd be
going
weird as fuck.
forward that Star Wars is going to be one of those movies where
it's gonna be what Marvel's at.
Like
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, "Oh shit, I could be in a
Star
Star
Wars?
Wars movie
Yeah.
now. Let's do
Well,
it."
look what happened to Force Awakens.
and that's what I mean.
How many
You-
people just wanted like just small cameos?
Yeah.
And people like, cameos that you don't even actually see their faces.
Well, yeah, but I'm
Which
talking
is
like
actually
how
most of
weird
them.
would it be if like
You're talking about
with like Woody
actual
Harrelson filling out
characters.
an actual spot, like actual roles.
Oh, so I
in
mean,
the
yeah,
movie, you know
but that's
what
what it'd be like. Because in the Marvel movies, you would never in a million years, we talked this before, ever could convince me that Robert Redford would be anything in a Marvel movie
I mean?
Yeah.
Or Michael Douglas
or Michael Douglas.
Glenn
Eh,
Close.
yeah,
like,
any
you
of
know
them.
what I mean. Like,
and then
Glenn
like
Close,
you have
yeah.
Robert Redford saying "Hail Hydra."
Mhm.
What? Like bullshit. Bullshit. But you do. And it's gonna be the same thing with Star Wars. They just gotta the difference is they're gonna have to find that spot for Robert Redford. But it's gonna like, with the success of these 2 movies for sure, obviously just opening up the universe more to have more roles to fill for those is gonna easily help out getting big name actors in there. Even if there are a small role like Glenn Close was in
Yeah.
there. Because she wasn't a major player
No.
in Guardians, but she was prominent. Like she was on screen for
yeah.
multiple
Well,
times.
when I said actual roles, that's what I'm talking about. I was
Yeah.
just you brought up Force Awakens, which all the cameos were just like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, it
you
means
know,
they-
James
You
Bond's
found
in it.
out
they,
later,
yeah,
Daniel
those
Craig
people
was that
wanted to be in
stormtrooper.
them. Now
Yeah.
people are gonna want to be them because they're
Yeah.
good movies.
Yeah.
But that's exactly where it's going. I mean, it's just it's gonna be fucking stupid.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait. Boom, yeah. Rogue One's dope. What else is there? Bum bum bum.
You have a lot of shows coming out this month. I know we're slow on movies, but we have like Netflix Lemony Snicket's comes out on the 13th. We've already had which I probably should have double checked. But the Man in the High Castle season 2 came out a couple days ago. The Expanse. If you're not watching The Expanse, you're
Goes back on the
missing
29th? 21st.
for what?
Expanse?
No, Expanse actually started on the 1st.
Season
January.
Season 2?
Yeah, January.
What?
January 1st.
You missed it, motherfucker.
I haven't been on my DVR in a while either, so.
Yeah. And if you're not watching that show, you are missing out on the greatest science fiction show that has ever aired. Period. Hands down. And that's coming from a person who loves Stargate. Let's see, what else was there? Sherlock Series 4 started on Sunday as well. The first. I love Sherlock. The first episode wasn't that great, but it was good enough to watch. At least, I'm getting something, I guess.
Wow. Way to sell that one, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's something else on Netflix that comes out this month, and I can't think of what it was.
Bum, bum, bum. There's a bunch of stuff coming out.
Yeah,
For
but I mean, like, stuff
sure.
that I wanted to watch.
Bum, 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 bum,
Because we
bum.
also have that weird, creepy documentary from Netflix that comes out later this month. The John Bonet one. Is that
John
the
Benet Ramsey. I don't think
Yeah.
it's. Is that one come out this month?
I thought it was like the 23rd.
Oh, maybe.
It was like later this month.
Well, that can't be right.
What?
Oh, I was looking up to see season 2 of The Expanse, and there's this weird news article on here that says Netflix acquires The Expanse season 2 as an original series with an even bigger scope.
That can't be right because
Yeah.
it's already. What?
That's what it says. I didn't click on it.
That article is lying.
Yeah, no shit. There's like, oh, we're gonna write this.
It's on the internet. Must be true.
Yep. Oh, hey, Fred Johnson. Hello, Cody.
Taboo's coming out.
Man, you were wrong, Joe.
Taboo.
Season 2 kicks off double episode premiere on February 1st.
Really?
Yes.
You got your months mixed up, you big dumb sack of garbage.
Then I read something that was wrong.
Wow. You need to simmer down.
All right. Pumped up right now.
Yeah, that was another one that I was trying to think of. Taboo.
Taboo.
I just don't remember the date on that
The
one.
10th.
It's
Which
the
is
10th.
coming out on FX
Yeah.
for us Americans.
Does anybody know what that show's about?
Tom Hardy killing people.
That's all I got from the trailer as
That's
well.
all I need to know. I'm in.
You're like, it's taboo.
I'm
and
sold.
It looks weird.
I'm
and
sold
it's
for at
also
least the first 8.
directed or produced.
Produced.
Or produced by the blah blah blah
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. There we go. Yeah.
Would have been produced by him and his brother. But. Whoa.
I know. I'm
I had the
trying to-
flinch. I saw the flinch. But it is a Scott Tree production.
Also,
This is-
the one thing I wanted to say to the internet to calm down a little bit is people are all like freaking out. We talked about this a little bit ago. Ben Affleck is due to direct the solo Batfleck movie that's coming up.
Mhm.
And he said in an interview it's not close yet because the script's not finished and he's not going to do something unless he thinks it's going to be great. And now it's so weird because from that quote, which I mean, that wasn't the quote, but that was the gist of what he said. From that, people are now throwing out headlines on Twitter and social media and on their websites that are Ben Affleck is second guessing doing the Batman movie. Ben Affleck slows down on wanting to do Batman solo film. It's like, no, none of that happened at all. Like,
Right.
it's still on track to come out when it's supposed to come out.
So calm down,
For
guys.
fuck's sake, we still got Wonder Woman and Justice League to come out before that's even a thought. You know what I mean? Like, can we
Yeah.
get through those movies? And then
And you say that, and to me, you made the point earlier, and I agree. It just sounds like he's saying that we're gonna make this a good movie. Because that's what I want to do.
and if you you can say anything you want about Affleck as an actor, but as a director, motherfucker's good. Like, he is a good filmmaker. And so people should be excited that he's taken this much, point of pride into it and taking his
Yeah.
time on it, not letting a big studio with billions of dollars behind it rush him into doing something that could be, haphazardly thrown together.
Yeah.
So yeah, chill the fuck out, internet. That should be the name of this episode, or not this episode, but this podcast. Chill the fuck out, internet.
Chill the fuck out, internet.
We just keep telling the internet why they need to chill the fuck out. Right, Cody?
Yeah.
What are you looking up, Cody?
Trying to look at this article that these people wrote in October of last year on how Netflix acquired The Expanse, which they did not, by the way. These fucking people. This is the problem with the internet.
Yeah, chill the fuck out, internet.
Like, this says, Sci-Fi's big space drama The Expanse has been acquired by Netflix for global distribution. Deadline reports the first season will be available to stream on Netflix internationally November 3rd, which it was. And the second season will be released sometime in 2017. And it says, with the reason the change is not clear at this time, The Expanse is certainly one of Sci-Fi's most ambitious and expensive projects, but even the great reviews ratings steadily declined as season 1 progressed. Also incorrect, because they went up.
Yeah, because I started watching.
Yeah. The low ratings and big budget could be the reason that why Netflix acquired the series. They didn't acquire the series. They have streaming rights to the series. You
It's totally
fucktards.
different.
God, I fucking hate the internet sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know what's going on. We're insiders. No, you're not. Referred to a Deadline story. I click on the Deadline link. Does not talk about anything about being acquired by Netflix. It literally says streaming available November 3rd, and they have the rights to stream season 2.
Yeah, you didn't acquire it. You acquired the rights to stream it.
Big
fucking-
difference.
Big
Fucking
difference.
morons.
Chill the fuck out, internet.
Yo, internet. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, motherfucker. Slender Man is terrifying. Little
Oh,
girls
that was
murder
another
friends.
one, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Slender Man. Beware the Slender Man, which hits the HBO on. I'll find the date here in a second.
But you guys told me about this earlier. I didn't know that he was even something that was being done. I was like, oh, that'll be cool, because I like the type of scary movies. And then you tell me that it was actually based on a true story, and I'm like, oh, that's not right, because that's fucked up.
All right, so this is the article. So, Beware the Slender Man, which is the name of the documentary, gets HBO premiere date. HBO has revealed that the shocking true crime documentary Beware the Slender Man will debut Monday, January 23rd. The documentary will be available for HBO Now, Go, HBO On Demand, and obviously on HBO starting that Friday or that Monday. So this is the blurb about what it is. So the news horrified the world. 2 12-year-old American girls lured a friend into the Wisconsin woods and stabbed her 19 times in the effort to appease a faceless mythical entity known only as Slender Man. But there's more to this story and the dark headlines generated. Delving deep into this shocking crime, the sobering documentary Beware the Slender Man examines how an urban myth could take root in impressionable young minds, leading to an unspeakable act. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know a whole lot about Slender Man other than the fact they made that creepy-ass game about it, where you're in the woods and you just have to walk a direction, you see glimpses of him, you have to run, and then he catches up to you and you get scared to death, you fall, and then you start over. Like, that's all I know.
I know that, and I think his origin was on like creepypasta, where they just make up weird random.
Could be. I don't know. There's several movies based on Slender Man myth that's been out, and Doug Jones even played he played Slender Man in one of the movies. If I remember
But it's
correctly.
still like relatively within the last 10 years. or
Easily.
so?
Yeah, for sure.
That, that this myth has come about, and I don't understand when, like I told you guys earlier when you told me about this, I don't understand how this can be such a
thing
that it causes these two girls to go out and sacrifice their friend over
19 times. Do you know how much like
That's
you
commitment.
have to do 19 times?
Yeah.
There's two of you, that's not even. So one of you gave up, or one was super aggressive. But still, 19 fucking times.
Yeah.
19 times.
But even in what I understand of the Slender Man mythology, there's never been anything like that.
Oh shit! The fucking movies have only been coming out for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
There's Wendigo, or Wendigo. That was
Wendigo, yeah.
Yeah, 2011. Hilo, 2012. Proxy, 2012. Entity, 2013, and Always Watching, which is the one featuring Doug Jones, was in 2015. So, and there's basically another movie, an actual movie. I don't say actual movie, but another movie coming out about it, called Slender Man. Well, right now it's technically called Slender Man. But, so, and the pictures they always show is like this tall dude with this white face that doesn't have any actual features to it.
Yeah.
And you can see where the eyes would divot in, and like where it's kind of like a semblance of a nose and a mouth. But you always see him standing in the woods, just kind of blurry. But this one they have here shows him like holding hands with this little girl, and she's just chilling with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's fucking terrifying.
Does it say what that picture's from? I can see it, and
Not on here, it doesn't.
it looks halfway decent. Like
it's a good, like, Creepypasta has like a lot of those times where they do really good Photoshop work or like a digital picture of
okay.
some sort, you know.
Yeah.
That's why this doesn't give a photo credit for the photo above. But like,
So it could be something like
Yeah.
that, not directly from one of these movies, but okay.
so give you a, oh yeah, it was a Creepypasta that says right here.
Mm-hmm.
So for the uninitiated, Slender Man, also known as Slender Man, because it's two words, Slender Man versus Slender Man, is a fictitious character creepypasta meme of an abnormally tall, faceless man with long arms who stalks and abducts children. In 2014, he inspired real-life horror as two 12-year-old American girls in Wisconsin lured a friend into the woods and stabbed her 19 times in the effort to appease the fictional character. So, fuck you. That's creepy.
Yeah, and that's going to be a documentary later this month.
It was created by someone. See, Slenderman was created by Something Awful Forums user Eric Nunson. Also,
Oh wow, they actually
alias is Victor Surge.
wow.
As part of a 2009 Photoshop contest, shown lurking behind children in black and white photos. That's the ones I always see. Like you see them behind them,
Yeah.
like they're playing or whatever. Let's see. Lurking behind in black and white photos, his mythology expanded and spread, seen alternately as a malevolent figure and the guardian of angel, spawning fan fiction, artwork, games, videos, and several low-budget feature films. So, booyah, there you go. Slender Man is fucked up, and it's only 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yikes. So, ew.
So
So
watch
sleep nights,
Passengers and don't do Slenderman stuff.
Don't murder your friends in the woods to appease something you don't know is real.
Yeah.
Or just don't murder your friends in the woods. I mean, you could probably
I wouldn't
stop
say
there.
that. I wouldn't say that.
You could stop
I'm
there.
not gonna stop you from doing what you want. Just
Hey,
don't
live your life, buddy.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm not gonna encroach on your ability to do whatever you want. Just don't murder your friends to appease a creature that no one knows actually is real.
Again, you could just stop.
Again,
Just don't murder your friends.
To appease any creatures.
See, there you go.
I'll take that. Sure.
Like, granted, it's uncouth to murder your friends, but don't do it for something so needless as, a mythical creature you don't ever know of.
Yeah.
Word.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right. Eek. Guess that's
Anybody?
that.
No,
Anybody?
that was
Anything?
about it.
All right. Taking Japan.
We're gonna
gonna
go
go.
to Japan. We're gonna get
Japan
Mike
trip.
on the wrestling scene in Japan.
Yep.
He's
I'm gonna be
gonna
a
be-
wrestler in Japan.
Look, I think that it
Doughy
would be
white
honestly
boy.
fun. We go there, we take in a wrestling match, we walk around.
I want to go to that fucking Monster Cafe for sure.
Yes, and we walk around that
where they
whatever
serve
that
monsters?
weird district is.
There where they fight in the middle of the restaurant.
Yeah,
Ooh.
well, that's the robot one, right?
Yeah. Robots and Monsters or
where
whatever.
it's like fucking disco and
Yeah.
oh, it's so weird and weird.
Disco.
Yeah, and then walk around that that area that is just like Pokemon stores and weird Japanese stores and this
Panty
and
vending
that.
machines.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I'd like it.
All right. So next week, live from Japan.
Man,
That is gonna be a little tough to do.
Okay, fair enough. We'll figure it out.
Mhm.
How long's the flight to Japan? What do you think from
Probably like
Arizona?
18 hours.
Yeah,
Oh, 18
that
hours in a
sounds fine.
fucking metal tube.
that's actually not fine. I know.
Yeah.
For
I wasn't okay with the 3-hour flight to Chicago. I was like, good lord, murder
What-
these
where
people.
did
You were on
sit?
Southwest though, right?
No, we were on
Yeah, South-
Merrick?
Oh, see, you would have killed yourself if you're on Southwest for that.
That's
flight.
what I was gonna say. When we went to Disneyland over the past summer, we flew Southwest, and that was
Flew to Disneyland.
well.
Live in
no,
Arizona. It's a
my
4.5 hour
my mom
drive.
won
Oh, okay.
tickets. There was a airfare included.
Oh, in that case, fly.
That's
for
why.
sure.
Yeah,
That's why
for
we
sure,
flew.
fly.
That's why they picked you. They're like, oh, 45-minute flight?
It was.
Let's go.
I will say it was fucking awesome because when we picked our first flight out, it was the first flight out of Arizona to California, and
Ever?
there was for that day.
Oh, I was like, I'm pretty sure they've flown to California before.
For that day,
Okay, gotcha.
there was like nobody on the plane.
Oh, those are the best.
So it was amazing.
I remember I flew to San Diego
Fucking
once.
Amazing.
What did I fly to San Diego for? Oh, I know, for Clint's dad. But I fell asleep on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
There was only like 7 of us on this plane, and they
Yeah.
still made me sit in my fucking reserved seat, which is in the back. I was like,
Nah, literally, they were
what the
like,
fuck?
there was no assigned seating. They were literally
like,
like,
take
just
up room.
sit where the fuck. you
Yeah,
want.
like these people are like, no, you're in what was it? Like I was like 37C. I was like, bitch, I'm behind the wing. There's no one else on this plane. Take your seat, sir. We have to know where you're sitting.
No, you don't.
There are 7 of us on this plane. You can literally see all of us at one time.
They didn't do assigned seating when we flew at all. Even on the way back, which was absolutely horrible because we flew during the day, it was packed. And me, being a 6'5" tall guy, was jammed in between 2 big guys. So literally, I
was
was
like your
that I was
regular
that
day.
commercial
Yeah.
where you have the 2 guys that barely fits in their seats, and me jammed in the center because it was the only seat left.
Yes.
We had printed our boarding passes when we got to the place
Oh, that's
instead
the
of printing
worst.
them online. So we were
check-in?
way back, yeah, for the check-in, and it was awful.
Yeah,
flying.
because Southwest doesn't let you pick a seat, right?
Yeah, so on those flights, we literally were just like, this is your boarding group. Sit everywhere the fuck you want.
Yeah, gotcha.
And this is the next boarding group. As long as there's a seat open, just take
Sit
it.
there. Yeah, okay, yeah. Those ones are
Yeah.
awful. Yeah, these ones are actually assigned seats. Like we had a seat to sit in.
Yeah,
Did I ever tell you a story about when we flew out to Chicago? This is real quick.
you may have.
I don't know if I did or not. Because it was a whirlwind trip. I know I didn't talk about it here. So we take off from Phoenix International Airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a packed plane. It is a packed. There's no empty seat. Like, no empty seat. I'm pretty sure I saw someone sitting on someone else's lap,
That's how that
which I think is
return flight
illegal.
was.
But, anyways, so Matt and I bought sandwiches because we got to the airport late. We didn't have a chance to eat, so we grabbed sandwiches. We'll eat them on board, right? Because it's a 3-hour flight. They're not going to serve us food.
Mhm.
I mean, you get the cool little crackers or whatever, but those little ginger cookies, they were delicious. So I bought some gummy bears and a sandwich and a drink. They let us bring them on the plane, which I thought was pretty dope. Because I didn't think they were going to bring the drinks on. They're like, yeah, you can bring them on.
Yeah,
They're bottled water, so it wasn't crazy.
we did the same thing.
So we're sitting there. We were on there. We're in the very back row of the plane, all the way back in the tail. Like I was like, if this crashes, we're dead. We're not ahead of we're not lost. We're like the tail. They didn't find us until season 4.
Yeah.
And most of us died. So we're sitting there and the seat's empty next to me. I'm like, oh, because it's not filling up right away. I was like, oh fuck yeah, the seat's been empty. I'll just move over. We'll have space between us. It'll be comfortable, right? Nah, this bitch rolls up with Paradise Bakery bag full of food.
Oh,
All right, this is where it gets crazy. So this woman must fly a lot because she was super comfortable and she ate fucking soup.
wow,
This bitch ate soup on a plane.
wow.
I was like, what the fuck? I can barely eat soup at a table,
Right?
taking my goddamn time. This lady's eating soup, or drinking soup, I should say, out of one of them little cups on a plane. She's
Kudos
dipping
to
her
her.
sandwich in it. I was like, oh, this is a practice technique.
Kudos to her
Yeah.
because in my situation, so like I said, flying out, I bought this giant bag of of gummy bears,
Yeah.
and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, fuck was.
My soda in one hand, fucking gummy bears. I downed those things by the time we got there. So I thought on the way home I'd do the same thing, but I bought a bag of red vines instead. Ginormous bag of red vines. Nope. It was crammed between these two people. Could hardly move, do anything. Didn't eat any of my snacks. My soda went warm because I couldn't get to it. Yeah. Plus, the seat I was in was the front seat. Like, we were front row. That was the only seat left was front row. So you didn't have the pull down tray table.
Nope.
Yeah. And you couldn't put anything on the floor. Trust me, they yelled at me. You can't put that there. But it's just a freaking record. It was that record right there, and the other thing I got for Mike. You can't put that there. It's got to go in the overhead bin. But it doesn't fit. Nope, got to go in the overhead bin. All right.
Yep.
Hopefully it doesn't break.
Plain Nazis. Yeah, so kudos to her, but man, I was like, we get turbulence and this bitch spills soup on me. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed. Nah, she handled like a pro though.
Good for her.
I struggle to get a goddamn sandwich. Like, I had my iPad sitting in front of me, and I was watching a movie, and I was like, the fuck do you do this on a plane? Like, I struggle this much with the sounds normally? Like,
I'm not this bendable.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a lot of space. It was cramped, just trying to keep in my spot. You know, I'm not a small guy by any means. But I was like trying to keep in my seat without elbowing, well, other than elbow mat all day long. But the strange lady with the soup, I was like, didn't want to like get her fucking crazy. But like, yeah, man, it was nuts. And then it was funny on the way back. There was like a line at one point for the bathroom, and we were right back by the bathroom. Thanks, Matt. But like, people just sit there and stare at you. Like, I'm watching a movie, and people are like staring at. I'm like,
right?
Don't stare at me. You're waiting for the bathroom. Like, look at your phone or something. That's not going to work on a plane, but still, look at your phone or I don't know, do something besides staring at me.
Yeah,
like I can't help you. Like, they're staring at me like, hey, make this go faster. I'm like, I'm not the bathroom monitor. Anyways, boom. Don't fly Southwest. They suck.
Don't fly Southwest. Don't murder your friends, but do watch Passengers.
I think we got everything.
Thank you for that bullet pointed.
We'll wrap it up, man. We'll be helping out. Just in case y'all forgot.
Michael, table of contents, Owen.
How'd you know my middle name?
I guessed.
Dang, good guess.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom. That's it for this week's Come Naturally. We are
Joe.
Mike.
I am Cody. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Yep. Yeah.